Frasier left a lasting impression on audiences with its witty dialogue and unforgettable cast. But behind the spotlight, many talented actors passed away under heartbreaking circumstances. From terminal illnesses to tragic accidents, no one could have predicted. Let's take a moment to remember and honor the legacy these stars of Frasier left behind. Let's go. John Mahoney as Martin Crane. John Mahoney, full name Charles John Mahoney, was born on June 20th, 1940, in Blackpool, England. When he was 53, he officially captured the hearts of global audiences playing Martin Crane, the gruff, old-fashioned, yet deeply wise retired cop and father in the hit sitcom Frasier, 1993 to 2004. With a subtle performance, he brought emotional depth to the character. Few knew that Mahoney's portrayal of a lonely, aging father was rooted in his own broken childhood. His parents had a cold, suffocating marriage, filled with constant arguments and devoid of affection. Growing up amid war and emotional silence, Mahoney knew he had to escape Manchester if he wanted a different life. At 18, he immigrated to the U.S., severing ties with his English accent as a symbolic rejection of his past, and he never looked back. Though he later gained acclaim on Broadway and screen, Mahoney remained a solitary man. He never married, never had children, and left almost no trace of a personal love life. In a rare interview, he admitted to fearing conflict so much that he would walk away the moment tension arose. The specter of his parents' toxic marriage haunted him, causing every relationship to end in silence. "I never learned how to stay," he once said. His youth was also shadowed by alcoholism, something he kept hidden from the public. It took years for Mahoney to free himself, but the emotional scars never disappeared. He found solace in Catholic faith, in whispered prayers before performances, and in his craft. Despite earning millions in royalties and an estimated $16 million in contracts, he lived modestly in Oak Park, Illinois, far removed from Hollywood's spotlight. In 2014, stage 3 throat cancer struck him hard. He fought quietly, continuing to act on stage until the very end. Though he briefly recovered, complications kept coming, slowly wearing him down. On February 4th, 2018, John Mahoney passed away at a hospice in Chicago. Mary Tyler Moore as Marjorie. Mary Tyler Moore was born on December 29, 1936, in Brooklyn. When she was 58, she appeared in Frasier as Marjorie, a graceful, sensitive mother who brought emotional resonance to the screen in just one episode. But behind her gentle smile and blazing career were years soaked in tears. Her first marriage ended when she was barely in her 20s. The second, married to powerful TV executive Grant Tinker, was filled with conflict and ended in painful divorce. Despite an enviable career, she couldn't hold together a stable family. Her only relationship with her son Richard was tense, and it ended abruptly in 1980 when he accidentally shot himself in the head. Less than a month before, Moore had stunned audiences portraying a grieving mother in Ordinary People. Life and art collided in the cruelest way. Moore once admitted she had struggled with alcoholism for years. Heavy drinking and chain smoking pushed her to the edge more than once. The cost wasn't just her health. It was her reputation and opportunities. She entered the Betty Ford Center for Rehab in 1984, as her fame began to decline after a string of failed roles. Whispers in the industry painted her as a cold diva, difficult on set. But many colleagues saw her simply as a woman trying to control a life that always seemed to slip away. As old age crept in, type 1 diabetes, diagnosed in 1969, ravaged her body. Her vision faded, and she was nearly blind by the end. Her heart and kidneys also weakened. In 2011, she underwent brain surgery for a benign tumor, after which she became frail and largely disappeared from public view. She spent her final years quietly with her husband, Dr. Robert Levine, 17 years her junior, who stood by her from 1983 until her death. On January 25, 2017, Mary Tyler Moore died at age 80 from cardiac arrest due to complications from pneumonia. Her estimated net worth at the time was around $60 million, most of which was donated to diabetes research and animal rights causes. Christopher Reeve as Leonard. Christopher Reeve was born on September 25, 1952, and was forever remembered as the iconic Superman. But in Frasier, he gave a stunning guest performance as Leonard, a brilliant but reclusive and inflexible man, when he was 45 in 1997. The role's emotional weight mirrored the real-life turmoil Reeve was enduring. Behind the Hollywood spotlight was a life-altering tragedy. In 1995, while competing in an equestrian event, Reeve suffered a catastrophic fall and broke his neck. The accident left him paralyzed from the neck down. From screen superhero, Reeve became a symbol of unbreakable spirit, tied to a wheelchair and ventilator for the rest of his life. The fall ended his acting career at its peak and forced him to confront total physical dependence. His relationship with his wife, Dana Morosini, was both a beacon of hope and a source of heartache. She stood by him in his darkest moments, but the emotional and financial strain was immense. Still, they fought together for medical research and disability rights. Reeve founded the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, committing millions to scientific breakthroughs, despite worsening financial burdens. By the time he died, his net worth had dwindled to about $3 million, most of it spent on medical care and philanthropy. On October 10, 2004, Christopher Reeve passed away at age 52 from cardiac arrest, a complication from an infection tied to his paralysis. His funeral was private, but the entire nation mourned the loss of a true, real-life Superman. Bob Hoskins as Coach Fuller. Bob Hoskins was born on October 26, 1942. When he was 61, he appeared in Frasier as Coach Fuller, a gruff, no-nonsense coach who stood in perfect contrast to Frasier's elegance. Though it was a one-time role, it bore all the hallmarks of Hoskins' comedic style, rough, witty, and layered. But behind the tough exterior on screen was the fractured life of a man carrying invisible wounds. Born into a working-class family in London, Hoskins worked as a plumber, driver, and window cleaner, before stumbling into acting by accident. Despite no formal training, he rose to fame playing gritty gangsters in The Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa, and later as the detective Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which catapulted him into Hollywood. However, the pressure of fame and grueling work schedules pushed him toward alcohol, something he admitted turned him into a grumpy, lonely man. He was known for his volatile moods on set, exploding in anger one moment, going cold and withdrawn the next. His personal life was no less turbulent. His first marriage ended quietly after 2 children. Only when he met his second wife, Linda Banwell, did he find refuge. She patiently helped him break his dependence on alcohol after years of loneliness that fame couldn't cure. Despite global recognition, Hoskins was never one for glitz. He loathed politics, disliked Blair, and had no love for Hollywood's glamour. Tragedy struck in 2011 when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The illness slowly stole his voice, movement, and ultimately his passion for acting. Just a year later, he announced his retirement. Struggling with the loss of control over his body, he withdrew in silence, spending his final days with his wife and children in Sussex. On April 29, 2014, Bob Hoskins died at age 71 from pneumonia. His net worth was estimated at $20 million, enough to support his family, fund artistic projects, and maintain the modest lifestyle he always preferred. Bruno Kirby as Marco. Bruno Kirby, born Bruno Giovanni Quidacchiolu Jr., came into the world on April 28, 1949, in New York City. When he was 44, in 1993, He made a memorable appearance on Frasier as Marco, a fast-talking, exuberant friend whose every entrance brought a burst of chaos and charisma. Though his time on the show was brief, Kirby's magnetic energy and comedic timing left a mark that fans would not soon forget. Off-screen, however, was a very different man, one shaped by years of quiet suffering, emotional conflict, and battles few knew about. Kirby lived with persistent depression and a recurring struggle with addiction, both of which cast long shadows over his otherwise impressive career. His frequent disappearances and occasional erratic behavior on set frustrated producers, who eventually stopped calling. It was a painful twist for someone so talented, so full of presence. Though often cast in supporting roles, Kirby was the heartbeat of many iconic films. His performances in When Harry Met Sally, Good Morning Vietnam, and City Slickers were essential to their success. With his distinct voice, rapid-fire delivery, and expressive eyes, he brought a vibrant humanity to every role. Yet even at the height of his success, turmoil brewed beneath the surface. Friends and colleagues sensed that the man who made others laugh so easily often struggled to find joy himself. In 2003, Kirby married actress Lynn Sellers in what many hoped would be a turning point, a shot at personal peace after decades marked by emotional turbulence. His earlier relationship with actress Annette O'Toole had ended in heartbreak, and rumors of gambling debts added further tension to his already strained family ties. Despite keeping his personal life tightly guarded, those close to him later admitted that Kirby felt deeply disillusioned with the entertainment industry and haunted by the sense that he had somehow lost himself in the process. Just as he was beginning to receive long overdue recognition, including an invitation to join the prestigious Actors Studio, his health began to fail. Unbeknownst to most, he was quietly battling leukemia, a disease that rapidly drained his strength in his final months. On August 14, 2006, Bruno Kirby passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. He was just 57 years old. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $4 million, earned mostly through his acclaimed work throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. John McMartin as Fletcher Gray. John McMartin was born on August 21, 1929 in Warsaw, Indiana, and was a seasoned face of American stage and television. In 1994, when he was 65, he appeared in Frasier as Fletcher Gray, a radio host with style, intellect, and refined charm, mirroring the depth and experience of a man who had weathered a long career. Behind the curtain of his success, he wrestled with long-standing demons, alcoholism and chronic anxiety that shadowed him for much of his adult life. These struggles were kept tightly under wraps. He was hospitalized more than once, always in secret, choosing to battle his mental health challenges away from the public eye and his colleagues. This private turmoil took a toll on his marriage to producer Cynthia Bair, which ended after more than 10 years together. Later in life, he found a measure of comfort in his relationship with actress Charlotte Moore, but he carried the emotional scars of past regrets until the end. Over the course of more than 5 decades, McMartin built a career of exceptional breadth and depth. He became known for his work in landmark productions such as Sweet Charity, Follies, Grey Gardens, and Anything Goes. His performances were marked by a unique blend of charm, gravitas, and vulnerability, qualities that made him a fixture of American musical theater. Yet despite the applause, he was often consumed by an inner loneliness. He once admitted that only the stage truly understands that feeling, revealing the deep bond he shared with the art form that both elevated and consoled him. Even as his health declined, McMartin continued to perform, driven not by financial need, but by a lifelong devotion to the craft that had given his life structure and meaning. Cancer would ultimately silence his voice, but not his legacy. On July 6, 2016, John McMartin passed away in Manhattan at the age of 86. He left behind not only a rich catalog of unforgettable performances, but also an estimated net worth of $5 million, a testament to a life spent in relentless pursuit of artistic excellence. Fritz Weaver as Sir Trevor Ainsley. Fritz Weaver was born on January 19, 1926 in Pittsburgh and became one of the most respected veterans of American theater and television. In 1998, when he was 72, he appeared in Frasier as Sir Trevor Ainsley, a gentleman with aristocratic flair, calm yet sharp, leaving a strong impression with his distinctly British manner. But behind the intellectual image and noble demeanor was a man marked by inner conflict. Weaver lived in prolonged solitude, especially after the end of his nearly 30-year marriage to actress Sylvia Short, which dissolved in silence and pain. Though he later married actress Rochelle Oliver, many saw him as distant and withdrawn, even with those closest to him. Colleagues described him as obsessively perfectionist, tense on set, and sometimes passed over for roles due to his reputation as difficult and aloof. In his final years, Weaver gradually stepped away from the stage after nearly 6 decades of work. He spent most of his time at home, far from the spotlight, carrying a quiet sorrow that he no longer felt part of the loud, ever-changing world outside. Despite winning a Tony and earning an Emmy nomination for his role in Holocaust, 1978, he lived modestly, avoiding the public eye. On November 26, 2016, Fritz Weaver passed away at his home in New York at age 90. His estimated net worth was about $3 million, largely from over 170 screen and stage roles that defined his enduring legacy. William Morgan Shepherd as Mr. Drake. William Morgan Shepherd was born on August 24, 1932, in England, and was known for his deep voice and commanding presence. He appeared in more than 100 films and TV shows, but in 1995, when he was 63, he made a mark in Frasier as Mr. Drake, a stern, intimidating figure whose authority resonated with both viewers and characters alike. Yet behind that steely exterior was a man shaped by hardship, war, and inner conflict. Before stepping into the world of acting, Shepherd served in the British Merchant Navy during the Korean War. His experiences at sea, amidst chaos, danger, and death, left him with emotional wounds that never fully healed. When he transitioned to acting, it was as if he were stepping off a battlefield into another kind of war, the emotional battleground of the stage. Shepherd became a celebrated performer with the Royal Shakespeare Company, where he was praised for the raw emotional intensity he brought to classic roles. He demanded the same level of excellence from others that he expected of himself, but that high standard often came with a price. Colleagues remembered him as brilliant, but difficult. He could be irritable, quick to anger, and at times alienating. He was known to erupt into sharp criticism on set if he felt others were underperforming. His perfectionism, while artistically valuable, sometimes left him isolated, not just professionally, but personally. Off-stage, Shepherd battled his own demons. He relied heavily on alcohol to quiet the storm of anxiety and creeping paranoia that haunted him, and he underwent multiple rounds of psychological treatment over the years. Despite his success, he struggled with vulnerability and emotional intimacy, and these struggles took a toll on his closest relationships. But even with these hardships, William Morgan Shepherd's legacy as a performer endured. His face and voice became recognizable to generations of viewers, whether on television, in film, or on the stage. When he passed away on January 6, 2019 in Los Angeles, he was 86 years old. His long and complicated career had earned him an estimated net worth of around $2 million. More than money, however, Shepherd left behind a body of work that stood as a testament to a lifetime of discipline, depth, and dramatic power, both on and off the stage. Robert Prosky as T.H. Houghton. Robert Prosky, born Robert Joseph Porzuchek, was born on December 13, 1930, in Philadelphia. He was a Polish-American actor known for his rugged face and warm, gravelly voice, qualities that captured the spirit of America's working class. When he was 66, he appeared in Frasier in 1996 as T.H. Houghton, a quirky, eccentric, yet compelling character that showcased Prosky's versatility and depth. He was often described as the soul of character actors with hidden depth. But behind the curtain of his colorful career lay a life filled with hardship and sacrifice. A veteran of the U.S. Air Force during the Korean War, Prosky left the service abruptly after the sudden death of his father, returning home to run the family's small grocery store. His path to the arts wasn't paved with glamour. It began with minor stage roles in local theaters before he eventually found his way to Broadway and film. Despite a successful acting career, with standout roles in Thief, Christine, The Natural, Mrs. Doubtfire, and numerous television appearances, Prosky's private life was not without turbulence. His marriage to Ida Hove, which began in 1960, endured many challenges, at times rumored to be strained by infidelity and the financial stress of raising 3 sons, 2 of whom would later become actors themselves. Though he earned the reputation as a stage father to a new generation of performers, Prosky lived modestly. At the time of his death, his estimated net worth was around $4 million. He passed away on December 8, 2008, just 5 days before his 78th birthday, due to complications following heart surgery in Washington, D.C. His death was widely mourned in the artistic community, which lost a true symbol of grounded, authentic storytelling. The stars of Frasier left an indelible mark on audiences, even as their own lives were filled with hardship and loss. Which Frasier character touched you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional journeys through cinema.